Hey guys, how many of you admire a well-done light display, but have often thought, I wonder what it would take to make my yard look classy at Christmas time? Well, if that's the case, you're in luck, because that's exactly what we're going to cover next on this week's bonus session of Manly Moments. Hey, who's been messing with my yard plan? What's wrong with putting Santa on the roof of the manger? Well, I've always said it's easy to tell the difference between classy and tacky yard decorations by the way they look during the daytime. Classy looks great. Tacky looks like an abandoned flea market. You got deflated snow globes, coiled Christmas trees, mechanical reindeer, extension cords all over the place. Looks like a yard with a hangover, doesn't it? Well, I act like I know what I'm talking about, but if I'm honest, I don't have a clue as to what it takes to spiff up my yard at Christmas time. Fortunately, I know someone who does. It's my good friend and professional Christmas light installer, Tim Pancake. How's it going, Tim?
Robbie, it's going great.
Good. Well, first things first. Pancake?
That's my real name.
Just checking. Well, I know this is a busy time of year for you. Can you tell us a little bit about what it is that you do?
Well, I have a landscape company 9 months of the year, but this time of the year I get to take off that hat, put on my Santa hat, and we do holiday lighting installations.
So you put up a few lights, huh?
We put up a few, about 80 installs a year.
Wow. Well, I know that a lot of the stuff you do is commercial or for higher-end clientele, but I was hoping you'd be able to share a few ideas with me today on how I might make my property come to life this Christmas. Are you willing to do that?
Absolutely.
Well, let's hop to it, shall we?
I'd like to share with you a few ideas that will help the average homeowner up their game a little bit, put them a little bit higher than the neighbors without a lot of extra effort or getting too technical. The first thing is safety. Be careful. If you're up on a ladder or you're using electricity, you want to know what you're doing or feel comfortable with it. If it's too high, don't do it. Ask somebody else to do it. Secondly, pick a theme. That's the biggest mistake I see homeowners make. In fact, I can drive down any neighborhood street and know if the homeowner did it or if a professional did it just by looking at the theme. The theme doesn't have to be complicated. It just needs to be consistent. So you want to have a theme that is maybe all white, classy, or traditional looking. Maybe you want to be more festive and want to be multicolored. Don't mix the two. Don't try to be classy over here and multicolor over there. Keep it consistent. That consistency is what makes the install look professional. The next thing you want to think about along with theme is what kind of bulb do you want to use. There are two different bulb types available these days. One is incandescent. Incandescent bulbs are what we grew up with. When you touch them, they're warm, they got a filament on the inside, they consume a lot of energy. In the past 10 years, LED have become a popular choice. They are cool to the touch, consume a lot less power, typically have a cooler feel or a brighter feel versus the old incandescent, which is warmer. So what you want to do is pick one of those two, don't mix them. Again, I see that mistake made a lot. They'll have LED strands over here, they'll have old incandescent lights that they just can't part with over here, and they don't work well together. Another simple mistake I see a lot of homeowners make is with their bulb choices. And I'd like to focus on these two right here. This is LED white. This is also an LED, but it's called warm white. It's meant to mimic the traditional incandescent bulb that a lot of people like. And so we want to avoid mixing these two. I see that happen a lot, and it's usually a complete telltale sign that every homeowner did his installation. And so pick one or the other. You want traditional or you want new or contemporary look. The last thing I'll say is a quick pointer for homeowners, and again a telltale sign that a homeowner did their installation is when you see the orange extension cords going across the lawn or up the house or up the gutter or across the eave. Bad, bad, bad. What you want to do is go to a hardware store and get a brown cord. You can find these brown or green. They blend in so well in so many certain situations, like going through a lawn. If you're going through a lawn area, use a green cord. If you're going up a house or a gutter, use a brown cord. They just blend away. So Robbie, those are some tips that I would give to you to really improve your game with your holiday decorating.
Wow, obviously a different philosophy than trying to outdo all the neighbors by putting lights on every pole, tree, basketball hoop, and bird bath in the yard.
Yeah, keep it simple. Sometimes less is more.
Well, every year I have to ask myself, what is the deal with Christmas lights anyhow? I mean, why do people do this in the first place?
I think it's nostalgia. I think if you have kids, you want to light up the place for the kids. I think it can also be very inspiring.
Speaking of inspiration, I'm anxious to see how today's project turns out. Can we take a look?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. Wow, needless to say, you've inspired me.
That's great. Just so you know, full disclosure, it was me that edited your plans for your decorations.
Yeah, well, that makes sense now after seeing what you do. But you don't think my Frosty the Snowman holding the baby Jesus is a good idea either?
No, that's not a good idea.
What about my beer can Christmas wreath?
You know, I'd probably recycle that one.
The difference between tacky and classy. Thanks, Tim.
You're welcome.
Hey, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and click like. And if you want, you can go ahead and subscribe to this channel so you won't miss a single episode. And we'll see you next time for another installment of Manly Moments.